Lisa from Low Carb Yum. Today I'm going to be making my almond flour waffles. They're low carb and keto friendly, and they're a great change from eggs and bacon in the morning, or you can eat them with your eggs and bacon in the morning. But you're definitely going to want to keep these on your menu when you have some time on the weekend. You can make up a couple batches, stick them in the refrigerator, pop them in the toaster to warm them up. They make a great breakfast on the go. You can also freeze them as well. I like to freeze them to keep them even longer, so if I make a really big batch, that's what I'll do. So if you guys are ready, I'm ready to get started and make some delicious low carb almond flour waffles. I've used about 1 cup of almond flour, and it's roughly about 117 grams or so. I did weigh it before, but I believe that's what it was, but it's 1 cup. You can sift it if you like. I like to use a fine ground of almond flour. I find it works better. Some baking powder. I use 1.5 teaspoons, and I do recommend using the aluminum-free baking powder. That's 1.5. I've got a half teaspoon here, so I'm going to put in 3 of them. Anything that's gluten-free, I find that adding some xanthan gum to have some of that stretchiness, or you can use some flax meal or some chia seeds or a little bit of psyllium if you don't want to use the xanthan gum. But today I'm going to use the xanthan gum, and I'm going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of that. And the xanthan gum is optional. It will work, or it should work, without it. But I just find the texture's a little bit better when I add some in. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. A little bit of that in there, and that's just a flavor enhancer. And then I'm just gonna whisk up the dry ingredients, and then I'm gonna go ahead and stir in the wet ingredients. So for this recipe, I've got a cup of heavy cream, and it's just the regular high-fat whipping cream or heavy cream. Some places they call it double cream, so it's your high-fat cream. And I use 1 cup of that. I've got a couple tablespoons of oil. Today I'm going to use avocado oil. You could use coconut oil if it's solid. I would definitely recommend liquefying it first by melting it or heating it up. Or you can use the fractionated kind, but I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of avocado oil today. The last ingredient is eggs, and I use 3 of them in this recipe. And then you can use a whisk just to stir it up and combine everything. Well, you're going to want to break up the eggs because they're whole eggs. Get everything well mixed in. It should come out pretty thick, and because of the high fat in the cream, you don't want to use like an almond milk, replace it with almond milk, because it will tend to be a little thin. I find it works best to have a thicker liquid in here. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's a fairly thick batter. It does pour well. It's not really thick like coconut flour batter tends to be. All right, and I've got my waffle iron all ready to go. You're just going to want to cook the batter to the waffle maker manufacturer instructions. This one flips, and I find that typically you want to watch the steaming, so it'll steam kind of a lot in the beginning and it'll slow down. You can kind of peek in to see how it is. I like mine kind of on the browner side, so just pour it in. And then this one also has a light too. I find that when the light changes, it's typically ready. I'm going to go ahead and flip this first, let it cook on one side, and then flip it over and then let it finish up. And we'll be back to see how they are. Okay, so the waffle is still steaming quite a bit, but I'm going to flip it over. At this point, sometimes I like to take a peek. It looks like it's just about done. So sometimes with the low carb waffles, you really can't tell, but the ready light did go on, so I'm going to go ahead and take it out because it looks pretty brown. And with the Belgian waffle maker, you typically get about 2 big Belgian waffles, and I like to separate them in the quarters. Either like 1 or 2 of these is a good size serving, and I like to just add a little bit of Lakanto, monk fruit flavored maple flavored syrup. It's my favorite syrup. Or you can make your own, or if there's another low-carb maple pancake syrup that you like. But look, Kanto's great. So I'm going to go ahead and give these almond flour waffles a try. They smell delicious though, so I'm sure they're going to taste delicious. And it's a really popular recipe on Low Carb Yum as well. So here we go. Definitely a delicious breakfast. Yum. I hope you guys like this recipe. Low carb almond flour waffles. They're keto friendly. They're super delicious. I hope you guys give it a try. That's it for now. See you guys next time. Bye bye.